to the LEC for this best 3 between Astralis and Fnatic. Astralis up 1 game. Fnatic returning to the red side to try again.
Returning to the red side. They don't choose blue.
Surprising.
I wonder if they want to run something back. Maybe they thought there was a few more target bans they can dish out. I wonder if Astralis would change anything up. I think Tom Kench ban is just kind of nice on 4-5. Maybe that's something they're looking to.
I think that Astralis winning that game was heavily dependent on JeongHoon's individual skill on Leona, less than it was on the matchup on the bottom side of the map. So why risk it? Just take it away. That said, I can understand why Fnatic would want the luxury of last pick, of that final counter pick, just to make sure that they have the luxury of a matchup that, you know, they don't have to blind pick, especially maybe in the mid lane.
Honestly, JeongHoon is just such a monster, isn't he? He's just kind of like the driving force behind Astralis in a lot of these games. When he's on a melee support, he looks like such a standout star player. So bans are coming in. We'll see what direction both these teams go through. I wonder if Fnatic is discussing this Yone blind pick. Do they have a better answer to it? Is Lissandra the best way? Jax ban for Astralis to change things up?
Interesting. So identifying the Jax is potentially the bigger issue. Oscar was huge on the Jax in that game. Ultimately couldn't make it count in the team fights, but now the Xayah
Vi is open.
Gonna get taken away. Vi is up and available. Could potentially prompt Fnatic to respond with something like a Lulu Zeri for their bot lane matchup, but Lulu for Advienne, Lulu Zeri for Rekkles and Advienne, I don't think is the best way for them to play.
I think Rakan is the direction you go in as Astralis, to be honest. Like, picking Rakan is probably your best bet, but they're gonna go for Maokai denial from Razork. I don't think he'll mind that too much. I see Sejuani as a good pick for him. I feel like Vi is also a great pick, depending on what you choose through bot lane. If you want to go Vi,
with Xayah off the board, Vi is so much better too.
Yeah, I think maybe if Astralis go down the Zeri route, the Vi does work. You don't really want to pick up Zeri into Maokai, perhaps is the direction they want to go in.
Okay.
So now I think we'll see what Kobbe wants to pick now, because I think with the Xayah, I mean, it's a bit complicated. We've seen Lucian Nami today already, but I'm not a big fan. I think Aphelios is the next in line as best AD carry. I feel like Aphelios Thresh.
Where is Aphelios in our league right now?
Yeah, there's no Aphelios whatsoever yet, but I really think Aphelios Thresh, Aphelios Lulu is such a force to be reckoned with. Just feels like such a powerful pick. They're going to go Sivir instead, it looks like.
Okay.
Sivir Karma maybe is the direction they're thinking. Sivir Rakan, yeah, good engage. So
and
no Aphelios yet.
Sivir certainly very good tools into the Vi. You can try to smite away the spell shield, but it's a difficult thing to do. Now the Rakan as well for reliable, hard engage. You know what JeongHoon could do on this pick. And Fnatic, what is the answer here? You feel like they should just try to lock support.
Last time they did Jax here, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. Now
and
it's
they banned 2,
away.
but that's taken away. I think Thresh can work, Nautilus can work, Leona can work.
Don't say Thresh. Don't say Thresh.
They're just going to pick top lane. They're picking top. Okay, this is Fnatic strat on red side. They pick top lane on 3. They ban 2 out. This must be the direction that they think the best way to play the game is. But I think you've just kind of shown all your cards in a way, because what will happen now is when you're playing Vi, mid lane picks are quite limited to playmakers. You think of Ahri, LeBlanc, Lissandra as the primary 3, so Astralis can probably draft around that pretty handily. And then you've shown top lane and supports. Well, they can decide to take some away if they're concerned, but it looks like they're not. Alistar could work, Nautilus can work. I think they have a plethora of options, but Fnatic's draft is kind of spelled out.
Certainly does feel that way. Astralis taking away the Twisted Fate just to make sure that Fnatic cannot try to leverage a Twisted Fate by combo to pick off some of the more vulnerable members of their team.
Yeah.
The members of their team. Akali now also taken away. So taking one leader champion away, taking one Finn champion away, it would seem. Although technically in our league, Kled is also a mid laner on occasion. Mostly for G2, however.
So what's the last ban? They take away something like Galio as well, maybe? We haven't seen Humanoid play it. Maybe Lissandra could be good, but I think Sylas being up makes it so that's pretty easy to play into. 2 bans onto... So Renata's going to be the support they take away. I mean, they can go so many directions here.
They've been really nervous about this Renata. This is the most Renata attention I've seen in a while.
It is. It is. What's Finn going to play here? I think into Olaf. It's a bit hard, even though considering he gets 2 bans. You kind of want to play something ranged, but Kennen's down, Jace is down. Could be a bit spicy, you know, play something like Vayne top, but that's not going to happen.
Ooh, yeah, I don't.
Gnar, Renekton is easy way. Yeah, Nautilus, I feel like Fnatic's draft has just kind of been, the story's been told. You're going to play a playmaker mid and you're going to be skirmish heavy. It's just, how does Astralis respond? Because I think they've got really powerful champions if they play, let's say, for example, Lissandra, Ahri, Olaf with Vi. That's a lot of threat in a skirmish in River. And I think Astralis will always fight fire with fire. Just a lot of the champions that I think that play around that well are obviously taken away. Kled and Akali are two of them with Sivir great engage. Akali can solo play.
Yeah.
Leader doesn't play LeBlanc, I think, so it's banned anyway. It's going to go Zed.
Okay, full confidence here from the leader.
Yeah, we're going to get Zed. So this is how they answer their fire with fire. They will find champions that can skirmish really heavily. Does Finn just go Ornn here? I know it's a horrible matchup. Maybe something like Sion, Malphite, just something full tank that can get in there.
It's really difficult.
No, that's not happening.
This is truly unhinged.
That matchup is unplayable.
There's no way.
I can tell you for a fact.
No.
Illaoi! I was wondering what was going on.
Oh my god. This is two of the most obnoxious top laners in the game going head to head.
They're playing Zed Illaoi solo lanes. This is why I was just so patient. And
do you need magic damage? Is magic damage a lie?
It is.
Is it just not important?
It just is. I mean, here's Lissandra, Shocker. I think Fnatic's 4-5 was kind of obvious. It was engage support or Ari Lissandra. But yeah, we were just concerned what Astralis is going to play. I think Fnatic's comp very well rounded, very heavy meta, very powerful draft. Don't get me wrong. But Astralis find answers to everything, and they find, they found a Zed angle. I'm not sure how much damage the leader can get done in this game against Vi Lissandra. He's gonna have to use his ult very, very carefully, perhaps even defensively at times. Kobbe will be the primary DPS. If this Illaoi falls behind, she's going to be useless. But if she can get even or ahead, her side lane threat is going to be insane. The problem is, they do have 3 mini champs. That helps a bit.
Yeah, and I think the other big struggles here is that you've got a knockup from Nautilus, you've got a knockup from Vi, and if you CC an Illaoi and she's not able to push W in her ultimate, she doesn't do anything in a fight. Now, she does demand some CC attention, but as you highlighted, side laning the big reason you're going to pick her. I think when I look at Fnatic's game plan here, early to mid game, these skirmishes, they should be heavily favored. They should have a lot of tools to try to build a lead for themselves. Astralis is still great scaling options with the Sivir, but when it comes to 2-3-man skirmishes, I'm liking this Fnatic competition.
You know what's going to happen, right? They're never going to get a 5v5. I think Astralis is blundering if they give them a 5v5. Leader and a Finn are going to sit on side lanes and play the 1v2 outplays. Kobbe is going to clear mid waves, and they're going to pressure sides, get towers, and Fnatic are going to be run around the map. It's on Fnatic to find points of engage, points of collapse, find objectives of it. But we're ready for game 2, Fnatic versus Astralis.
Nightshare, thank you so much for joining me. Talk to me about the Illaoi pick. What was your reaction?
I mean, we knew that they're playing Illaoi in solo queue, so we were kind of expecting it, but against tanks, and they picked it against Olaf, so we'll see.
And how do you feel about Fnatic's composition? I mean, Fnatic, you've not been criticised for the draft so far, so how do you think they're going to perform this time around?
I think we honestly misplayed a lot level 1 bot lane, and we got really far behind. And because of it, that game should have been unplayable. But we came back because Astralis usually misplays some fights and give opportunities to come back. But this time around, we just wanted to change a few things up, and then we did. And I feel like we have really strong draft.
We are seeing action on the wrist. Thank you so much, Nightshare. Let's head to the boys.
That's it, Maokai.
There you go. He's like, Astralis, they make mistakes. Bam, 1-1-3 dead. That's a coach curse. That ain't even a caster curse. And you can hear Berlin alive. Hoping Fnatic fans rejuvenated on the back of a very bold decision from the side of Astralis' jungler to invade there.
What was my man 1-1-3 doing there? He was
on a walkabout, man.
He's just standing in their jungle.
He doesn't understand.
On a ward, gets collapsed on a dice, you know? Well, first spot over to Humanoid.
Dabbing Penguin, hit him with it.
And he's just going to keep emoting. Wait, he's got both of them. Did you see that? Or was that the same one? We'll have to see.
I think it's just the same one. It's just the one.
Is this both? Yeah, okay, it's full
No, it's just
what are you talking I don't know, I thought it was flickering between the two, but I didn't realize they were animated.
Okay.
I didn't know they could be animated.
Right.
That's insane. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, Humanoid, first blood, 500 gold lead, can't spend the money. So the game's kind of even right now anyway. No summoners blown. 1-1-3 was in time for his camps.
Fake gold lead.
Fake gold leads. At the end, yeah, I was going to say, you could get a good hook there.
And as long as Fnatic's bot lane keeps trading and don't let just Kobbe leverage the lifesteal advantage from Doran's, this longsword 3-pot starts is going to feel pretty good. Already the early laning phase going much better for Fnatic overall. On the top side of the map, of course, we might not hear about a lot of action, but it is, for me, exciting. I love watching champions fight Illaoi because she sucks. She's the worst champion in the game to play against.
God, brutal.
She's great if you're good at her. So what happens here is she's going to push E, and if she hits you with the E, you're going to get a little spectral ghost buddy, but that ghost buddy is not your buddy. she's going to hit you in the Ghost Buddy at the same time, and then you lose every trade until the lane is over. And I'm sorry, it's the most miserable champion to play against, but if Finn can do some work here, maybe Oscarinin won't be able to fire back.
I've seen Bal's FFS play Illaoi, Prowler's Claw, 20 deaths, just one-shot people, so I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. He's getting pushed in early. I think Fnatic actually have 3 pushing lanes. You can see it there on the 3-lane view. Top, mid, and bot in great spots here for Fnatic. Looking for that cannon there. You can see Finn trying to punish him on it.
Again, the left-right posturing there you're seeing from Finn and Oscarinin. Oscarinin can't walk forward to get the axe because if he does anything that makes his positioning predictable, Finn will hit E, Test of Spirit, and then the trade is over, and it's really hard to play the lane out.
Waves coming into him as well now. Oscar can try to get towards level 4. If he lands an axe, he definitely has all-in potential. You can see the items, Doran Shield for Finn, Doran Shield for a leader. They're playing defensive in these lanes. They know they'll be getting pushed in. Razork looking for this top crab. 1-3 is sneaking his way up here. Done his full clear. Trying to lane gank top, trying to cover Finn on this push out.
Big whiff on the E should mean that Oscarinin's a little bit more comfortable to walk forward here.
Razork's mid though.
Razork ready to fall. Flash forward the snare. Good chain CC coming out. Now they're going to try to make it out of safety. Humanoid will survive. Gets the kill. The Treasure Hunter proc. So much money into the back pocket of Fnatic.
Very clean as well. Humanoid communicating that he'll flash roots so that they can land the VQ. That's easily enough damage to get the kill. Humanoid tanks and flashes out. Great start for the mid jungle of Fnatic. They're ahead. They're playing 2 of the strongest playmakers in the early game. Now we need to see a little bit more from them when they get towards level 6, start dominating these side lanes, helping the rest of the team out. Razork already getting a little bit of information on this bot side jungle. He's going to use the sweeper towards the Krugs, towards the Raptors, trying to see where 113 is with that ward.
JeongHoon looking for the knockup, forcing the flash out from Rekkles. Clean play there. Fnatic looking to extend the trade just to try to make it positive in their favor, but overall, getting those summoners from Rekkles is massive. Feels very similar to what we saw in Game 1, albeit a little bit later. 113 again, ready to come down to the bottom side and try to press this advantage.
He's gonna get spotted though, he's on a ward. Razork's taken away his Raptors. Big camp lead now for Razork. Top crab is still up. 113 didn't go towards there despite hovering towards the top side of the map. Pink's gonna come down, a little bit of vision with the sapling. And this is looking for something. So if they overstep here, Kobbe's trying to get the wave in, and I think they will. They're just trying to escort. Humanoid maybe misclicked that plant. He sent the vision towards his own jungle. But Dragon up in 3 seconds.
And I will say, you know, individual leads in the game aside, compositionally, I really love this Lissandra Vi a lot more than the Lissandra Maokai. So much more kill threat on the leader here in the mid lane. Yes, post level 6, it gets a bit easier for leader to try and outplay, but if Fnatic can keep this advantage, if they can keep getting Humanoid out of lane, this is going to be such a massive boon for the team. Right now, it's a 1,700 gold lead, split mostly across jungle and mid lane. It is that extra lost chapter for Humanoid, meaning he can keep up lane pressure, but we'll see if they can continue to snowball here.
Yeah, need to snowball into objectives or side dives, especially when they hit level 6. They have so much lockdown and power. It's, like I said, so much different to playing Lissandra Maokai. Leader's going to get towards that level 6 as well. Finn a little bit behind against Oscar right now in the 1v1. Leader same against Humanoid. Level 6 though should mean that Humanoid is relatively safe. But yeah, 2,000 gold down already, Astralis. This is not the game state they want, because I think Fnatic are just going to kind of roll over them in team fights if they give them a 5v5, so they need to get these solo lanes ahead.
Finn doing what he can there with the Tentacle Slam just to farm up. But as much as I talk about how obnoxious Illaoi can be, she is highly dependent on a single ability. If she does not land it, it's so easy for Oscarinin to win out on these trades. Right now, Finn most certainly on the back foot. Again, just doing what he can to pick up CS, but losing out in pressure overall here. Does hit the E, this is the big one. Big tentacle slapping down. Wow, isn't this fun, interactive gameplay? Look at everything Olaf could do to trade back there. Nothing, that's why he walked away. Just personal vendetta against this champion.
Finn's, he needs to be careful here. Oscar can ult in.
Another E continues. He's just gonna. Oh my God! It's a healing battle. Welcome to Illaoi, baby. She just hits you.
Oscar, he has the debuff on him. He needs to dodge. I think there might be another one coming in.
You just wait. You wait. The stat. No! Why would you
Oscar,
walk back?
Be careful.
You have to kill 2 to stop the curse. He kills 2.
He stops the curse, but now Dragon fight going on here. Fnatic need to contest this, see if they go in.
113 now, immediately JeongHoon with a follow-up. They're trying to burn through everybody before the fight even kicks off. They manage to find 1 kill. Razork now stepping in. Leader's now used his ultimate. They're trying to finish off Humanoid, knowing that he has no ultimate to save him. Humanoid burned down. Kobbe still standing strong. 1 reset coming in for Lissandra, though the damage is going to be big. It's going to take Leader out in the fight. That's the frozen throw. Kobbe taken out as well. Fnatic have the tools, and they put them to use.
3 for 2. Fnatic come out ahead. Rekkles picks up a double. Leader the same. Fnatic get the objective as well. Good turn there from the 4-man. You can see 113 went in straight away with JeongHoon onto Advienne. The first kill went into Astralis' favor, but the consistent DPS from Fnatic was there. Nice little mode from Rekkles there. So you can see here, watch the turn. 113 and JeongHoon instantly jump onto Advienne, but that leaves the carries kind of free to hit. Razork gets in there. Humanoid drops his ult onto JeongHoon to try and get that kill. And then you can see Rekkles joins the fight, and once he gets that lethal tempo stacked up next to Razork, they can start dishing out so much damage onto Leader, dodges the back half of that boomerang, and outranges Kobbe on the auto attacks versus the Sivir. Nice.
And Lissandra passive.
Lissandra passive, yeah, so many resets in these fights. 100% KP for the mid jungle of Fnatic. They need to, I think, fight, as much as they won that fight, they need to look for fights more on their terms. I think they need to, once they get these mid waves in, move towards Herald. Razork looks really strong right now alongside Humanoid. He's not gone for the Rod of Ages this time, he's gone for the Everfrost to help set up his jungler even more. Rekkles sitting pretty with a 600 gold lead as well. Much different to that first game where we heard Nightshare talk about they messed up level 1, they fell behind, the game should have been lost, but we almost came back. Now they're sitting in a much more comfortable position.
Absolutely are. Again, almost completely individually built gold lead on the top side for Oscarinin. The rest of the map playing well as a group here, and for Leader, this is a nightmare. Has flash, can poke a little bit, but can never really comfortably all in. Finn trading a bit back on the top side, but now that there's some additional healing for Oscar here, the lane does get a bit easier. Finn now stepping forward, knowing the curse is on, and that Oscar has to back up.
Watch the minimap here. Advienne's running from bot towards mid. He's a little bit late. JeongHoon's already there. Herald contest is slowly coming in. Finn has the top push. JeongHoon's helping Leader get that mid push. See if they can get Humanoid on the tower. See if they can get this objective first and turn on their own regard. So 4-man strong. 80 carries. 1v1ing towards bot. Does Fnatic fight? They have vision with the Scuttle Crab. I think they should definitely look for something here. Oscar doesn't have the ghost, but a lot of damage burst ready.
Tricky. Really need to calculate your damage output here. Disengaged from the Maokai, just trying to zone away. Leader threatening, has burned the Shadow now. 3k health, getting lower. Trying to reset the Herald now, it appears. They want to back away. JeongHoon now going in. He needs to leap right back out. Razork has been hit by the Test of Spirit. Now it's going to be Finn in the midst of everybody. Keep your eyes on that Illaoi damage. They burned all their CC. They're going to burn through her before she can push a single button. No, they're not! The Illaoi stays alive for just a little bit too long, but in the meantime, Fnatic are still taking fight. That's the reset. That's the Frozen Thrall. The knockback 1-1-3. Taken out. Will try to finish Humanoid, but that Sapperling will not connect on the bottom side of the map. Rekkles taking plates. Everything going in favor of Fnatic.
Huge turnaround from game 1. Managing to win this Herald fight. They won the Dragon fight as well. So many kills going over to Fnatic in these early stages. You can see the difference this team looks like when they have so much playmaking behind them. Still 100% kill participation from Razork. Great game from him so far. They pick up the objective, they pick up the eye, and that's going to lead to even more gold for them. Astralis just don't have the damage, do they? They don't have the damage to get through Fnatic, who have so much power behind these champions with these ultimates. The Lissandra, the Vi. And you could see even Finn got a pretty good ult off, I have to admit, for a Herald fight.
But watch the CC. This is the thing. They burned literally everything on Finn to stop his ult from meaning anything in the fight.
Yeah, let's have a look at it then. So Razork gets hit by the knock-up here, I think it is. And then here comes a follow-through. Finn takes with the E.
Ulti.
Tries to land the ult, gets a couple of tentacles down, but you can see Oscar's going towards the top part of the map. Humanoid's just out of range of it. The next slap comes down after the chain CC onto Razork and the clone, but JeongHoon's 1v1ing the top laner. Leader's playing Zed, and he's done most of his burst, and 1-1-3 can't really help either, so just a consistent DPS is in favor of Fnatic. Yeah, they punish them.
And again, I think excellent target selection from Fnatic, splitting the fight up a bit, focusing down on the JeongHoon, burning both the Lissandra ult and the Vi ult onto the Illaoi so she can't get, multiple slams on that tentacle on that ultimate.
Ooh, spotted by the sapling there. Razork was maybe looking for something towards mid. Herald's in Oscar's hands though, so it's kind of obvious which direction it's going to go. Oscar maybe looking for a little bit of damage onto Finn here. He has the Hydra, so he can life steal up pretty easily. God, I mean, Nightshare did talk about it in an interview. They picked Illaoi into bruisers, not tanks. So if they fall behind here, Astralis and Finn doesn't manage to win 1v1 against Oscar, the whole value of the champ just kind of fades away.
Yeah.
Leader.
Leader locked up, chain CC coming out. He's not even getting a chance to push that R button clean from the side of Fnatic.
So why is Lissandra Vi meta? You can see the power of the mid jungle in the early stages.
Look, all I'm saying is I'm bad, and if you put me on Lissandra, walked into my lane and said push R on that guy, we would kill someone every time, Caedrel.
All right, we'll queue up tonight. We'll see how much magic we can do.
Humanoid is also not bad, which makes it that much easier. You know what I'm saying?
I know you can land it with the Everfrost. I believe in you. I trust you
to
do
it. It's a point-and-click ability, Caedrel. I literally can't miss it. It's actually impossible.
But your pike hooks are pretty good, so I think
thank you.
That helped. Hang on a second.
Well, here we go. Finn trying to trade back, but...
What is that damage?
Yeah. So, again, she reflects... The clone takes a certain amount of damage, and then you also take damage. So it's like Illaoi's hitting you for 40 or 50% bonus damage. It's pretty big. That said, Oscar's just going to run in now that the E has fallen away, try to heal this up. Humanoid coming over the wall, flash out from Finn, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult in this lane.
Flash for flash trade. Tried to land a flash Everfrost there. Humanoid didn't have the ultimate. Finn flashes away. Nothing else happens really. Oscar loses the ghost, but Dragon spawning in 1 second. You can see Humanoid maybe overcommitting up there. The problem is Fnatic, as much as they got that kill onto leader with Humanoid and Razork, they used both their ultimates to do it, and they're still on cooldown for this Dragon. Maybe they're going to be up in time if they can slow this down a bit. If they can get their ults, they're probably just going to wash Astralis away right now. They're in a very bad position in terms of being stacked up. Humanoid 7 seconds away on the
JeongHoon ready to get the fight kicked off. The chain CC will have been enough. Leader throwing so much damage down into the back line. Humanoid can't get into the fight quite yet, but now Astralis are on their retreat. They burn everything that they've got, and Fnatic are still standing.
Humanoid's ult is up. Leader's ult is still up as well. Rekkles.
Sapling.
Stepping up.
Connect, big hook onto Kobbe. The ultimate's coming out now to burn away the jungler to take the objective off the map. Fnatic stealing the dragon, keeping the fight going. Kobbe now running for his life, hitting extra movement speed off of the passive. JeongHoon leaping over the wall. The Advienne might try to follow up. Rekkles flash forward. Spell shield now comes out. Kobbe desperate to get back underneath the tower. They're trying to donate the kill. One more auto. The E to finish. Rekkles on a rampage. Hand delivered by his jungler. Advienne. Bit of supportal combat there in the wolf pit.
Another 3 kills for Fnatic. They're just rolling them in these fights. Astralis, the initial engage from JeongHoon was good. Leader got chip damage down, but they just re-engage after their cooldowns are back up. Their ultimates return. And the E there missed from Finn. Doesn't have the flash either. Oscar, I'm not sure if he has the mana to juggle the axes to get the kill, but he wants to place the Herald down to get the gold. Probably is going to run away after this. Doesn't have the mana to take the fight, but yeah, I think this Fnatic comp, this 4-man is just so strong. There's really nothing Astralis can do to fight back. Sivir is just sitting on a Noon Quiver and a pickaxe right now. And that's your late game insurance. We'll see if Astralis can slow the game down, but they're not really prone to. They're always looking for these fights. So let's look at JeongHoon, because I think this turn was not too bad.
Instantly goes in. The CC very delayed though on the fall. And again, you can see leader, multiple multi-target Qs and Es, but can't fully commit in the fight.
Yeah.
And when the re-engage here comes in for Fnatic, credit 1 to Razork for an incredible steal here, but also the patience from Fnatic not to overcommit until they had their cooldowns back up again.
Yeah, heals Razork and says go in and take this dragon. They manage to pick it up. Rekkles stays next to his jungler. His leader tries to go in. Humanoid instantly pops the ult onto the Zed, and that's the weakness Zed has. He can get locked down so easily, and then all your burst is gone. Astralis have to run. JeongHoon eventually dies. Kobbe does die. It's actually 4 kills in total over to Fnatic. See if they can pressure this bot tier 1. Razork's hovering around. JeongHoon's here to cover leader. Looks like they'll be able to catch the wave.
Look, game 1 was a back and forth, but this is the slaughter. You know, Fnatic, yes, they were essentially gifted a kill at level 1, but they've been playing so well with that advantage. Humanoid now in trouble, or not. Oh my god, yeah, JeongHoon, just dance it off, buddy. That's a toughie.
Yeah, he knows he just got made fun of a bit there by Humanoid. Doesn't land the W. And now Fnatic own the bot side of this jungle. I don't think leader can stay on her tower anymore. That tower is going to fall. Oscar is pushing top as well. Looks like Astralis might look mid. 1-1-3. Yeah, he's going for the flash.
Flash in. Rekkles now going to be in trouble. Knocked back under the tower, but still trying to finish up. Kobbe gets one back. Credit to Rekkles for making it a 1-for-1.
Massive kill there from Rekkles. Manages to trade back, like you said. Shutdown goes over to 1-1-3. Ideally, that went over to Kobbe, and then they can start slowing the game down. But now that he's dead, you won't be able to pick it up. Tower falls top, tower falls bot. This is a stomp from Fnatic.
And now your all AD composition feels real bad, because if anyone on the enemy team builds just a bit of armor, you're already so far behind the clock. I don't know if you're going to get enough time to come back.
All this skirmishing around the bot side, you know, and then you look at the gold and you're like, wow, Oscar really is 2.4k gold ahead, isn't he? More than Rekkles after you see those plays, so props to him with the Herald managing to take a full tower in Finn's face. And now I think Fnatic only really gets stronger, because as much as Lissandra, Vi, and Nautilus are strong in the early game, their mid game is even better. So Fnatic should start forcing his objectives, get Herald, look for dives, play with confidence. They have Zhonya's on the Lissandra, they have Flash coming up, Kobbe has no sums. They have so many options in just getting towers straight down the mid lane by just diving them.
Yeah, and Lissandra is an oppressive champion in an even game state, but when you have a lead like this, it goes from oppressive to unstoppable. With you got the Vi alongside you, Razork with the Black Cleaver at this stage of the game. Pretty sure he's going to go back and buy another item as well. This game feels very unplayable for Astralis. As you've highlighted, Kobbe is kind of the get-out-of-jail-free card with the infinite wave clear that Sivir can provide. But right now, it's really not infinite. It's a level 9 Sivir. Doesn't even have a full item completed.
Here comes the play then. Fnatic, I think they're dropping a mid-wave here by a little bit of a mistake, but they're hovering in this topside jungle. Probably going to place the Herald down. Look for this tier 2, a lot of gold injection. They dropped mid a lot. Normally you want to play on 2 lanes here, so maybe Astralis can get a tower off of this. Bit of an overcommit here from Fnatic. They don't end up using the Herald, which is good, but they might lose 2 towers for this. They've given up Drake Prio as well. And the fact that Astralis have objective bounties means this is an even trade when you have Herald. So playing on 1 lane when you're this far ahead, maybe a bit of a blunder. They dropped mid wave. And It shouldn't be the end of the world. They should be able to pick up bot tier 2 easily. Mid tower, look for leader maybe.
Lock up, chain CC, Axe gonna come through, leader. Able to flash out to safety, so the kill not quite gonna come through there as Astralis will keep their sights on that bot side tower. So as you highlighted, getting the 2 towers over, getting the gold a little bit closer, still does not get them out of the difficult situation they put themselves in, especially now that Rekkles is gonna fire back in the mid lane.
I think Fnatic should have played more towards mid there. Top was kind of guaranteed if they popped the Herald down, they wouldn't have to give up as much, but either way, they still have it. Can use that on another push. 10 seconds on the Dragon should put them on soul point. I don't think Astralis will look to fight that. That top tier 1 looks pings you can see on the minimap for Astralis up there. Let's look for this tower, get the 3rd tower objective bounty, get rid of all their outer towers, and maybe they can look for picks. So trying to cross map still. Kobbe is going to have to catch mid waves very defensively, and we'll see if Oscar can respond on this side lane. He has Humanoid's TP, so he's sitting in basically a 1v2 if he can get under that tower.
Oscar now running in to potentially a 3v1 here. We'll just ult and walk away as the TP's coming in on the top side. Astralis just desperate to force plays, desperate to get something back here, knowing that they have no control on the bottom side of the map. But they're going to break down this top lane tower so quickly, maybe they can stop the play from Fnatic on the bottom side.
Yeah, Fnatic should start taking a lot of objectives here. There's no ult on Rakan. Bot tier 2 will fall when Humanoid gets the wave in. They should get the Dragon as well. And they got Finn's TP, so the side lane gets even better for them. 8,000 roughly gold lead at the moment. And all that's left is at mid tier 2, so what you'll see them do then is push outside, collapse towards mid. I think honestly in a minute's time they can just start a Baron.
Yeah.
Turn onto Astralis to see if they can respond. Kobbe's just a bit, you can see gritting his teeth. Not sure if he can find a way out of this hole.
This is a tricky one. You're gonna need some real artistry, some real creative thinking to find your way out, and I think more than anything, you're really gonna need Fnatic to play over-eager or over-aggressive and get punished if you want to find a way back into the game. Of course, will be Chemtech Soul. All the dragons except for Chemtech, I believe, were nerfed over the last 2 patches, so while it's still maybe not anyone's favorite soul, it has been evened out a little bit more compared to previous patches.
That scoreboard gold difference on the bottom looks like my solo queue match history is just red. What can you do? There really is nothing for Astralis to do, is there?
I don't know. You're the jungler, bro. It's literally always your fault.
It is, I know.
So if it's red, I mean, that's, you know.
Just sing payphone to
Which
myself.
feels messed up, because I don't think this is entirely 113's fault. But maybe not walking into the enemy jungle with no support at level 1 for future games.
Kiki Chad. Yeah, he's almost 3 levels down. He's very close to leveling up, so not the end of the world. But Baron's up in 15 seconds. Humanoid's bot, they're escorting him.
Mark, when he levels up, he's level 10. Razork is level 12. It's still the end of the world.
I know it is. I know it is. They're trying to get sneaky vision on the Baron. Maybe if Illaoi can get inside the pit on top of 5.
Yeah, there's a
Slam
world.
Dunk WWE style from the top rope.
Uh-huh. Yep. Illaoi with the steel chair.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Is that Finn? Looks like they're going for the mid tower at the moment, though. Fnatic don't even... They're just going to die from 1-3. Humanoid.
They're just going to zone him off. They don't really even have to burn any spells yet.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they're going to go all in for him. Humanoid's been locked up. Humanoid's taking tower, but he does go golden. He's got the stopwatch to keep him safe. The Hourglass, rather, his leader now locked up. Will he get taken down in time? They're trying desperately to ult. He's going to ult, gets a bit of damage down, but not a lot else.
All right, let's see if Finn's got a massive steel chair, because he's basically 1v5 at this point. Fnatic's going to start it up. Should be a really easy pickup. I mean, it's an 11,000 gold lead, to be honest.
Other than Advienne's ult, they're out of reliable point-and-click CC.
Finn, get in there.
Versus the world. Here we go.
He doesn't have a Sivir ult.
Can they see him?
He just has to run in a straight line. That's all he has to do.
He will not walk in.
All of that hype, and he doesn't even go into the room.
I was going to sing the theme song. But Fnatic, easy pickup here, and damn, this is dominance. Yeah. This is a one-sided affair.
Oh, just hit him with the ignite. Gave him the thumbs up. Yeah, I'm going to waste 5 seconds of your time. What are you going to do about it, buddy? JeongHoon runs away. And yeah, nothing happens from that. I think Oscar will be easily in time to join his team on the push. So Astralis can't really do anything. No cross map. Bit of vision towards the bot side.
Okay.
Laughing through the pain.
On a scale of there's a niche way for them to come back to go next, where are we at?
We're at game 4.
Okay. All right.
This is really unplayable. I mean, you can see Lissandra in the mid-late game when she's ahead can obviously play dives really easily, because you just ult one target, call your team to do it, tank the tower, pop the stopwatch, drop aggro, and then happy days. Later here, you can see how chain CC'd he is here. Vi ult, Vi Q, eventually he ults, but by the time he lands, he's dead. Screen's great. Can't even get a combo off.
Yeah.
Fnatic have so much lockdown. I think on this next Baron, they can replicate that exact play on a tier 3 instead. Kobbe has sums up, which helps, but he doesn't really have that much damage. You can see Rekkles actually smart buy. He's gone towards the Zhonya's on Varus.
Ooh,
I think that helps out a lot. He has got a good couple of AP scaling Varus, and against Zed, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, very powerful. And Leader is essentially out of targets that he can reliably ult in fights.
maybe if Oscar lets himself get low enough, but it's just doesn't seem possible with the sheer amount of resistances you have. And wow, look at that Lissandra damage.
Yeah, I think it's been such a power pick this game. And now Fnatic are going to play on 3 lanes. Rekkles pushing in mid, Oscar pushing in top, Humanoid pushing in bot, and then Astralis will thin out to defend these waves. See how they decide to play the dive though. Leader looks like the easiest target, so watch Rekkles and Advienne. Maybe they can look for a sneaky. Oh, ult goes wide from Rekkles onto 113.
Not ideal. Maybe gives Astralis a bit more space to catch these waves. His Finn's going to whiff on the E on the top side, so Oscar going to continue to just kind of bodyguard this cannon minion forward.
I think Fnatic are too split. They don't really have champions that can side lane to the point where they can threaten tower. It's not like a Jax or a Camille.
Yeah, but the line between we're strong enough to dive people under these towers and we're throwing the game is a very fine line. That's one that they're ready to walk, it would seem.
They better be running it, because Oscar gets knocked up, doesn't use the damage. Yeah, a little bit of damage, but that frees up Humanoid. Does he have a wave to play on? No, he doesn't. So he's going to move towards mid. Fnatic, maybe they're realizing that grouping up could be better, but we'll see what happens after this next wave. They've only got 30 seconds left of Baron, so that's one more wave to play on.
And 30 seconds till the Chemtech Drake spawns with total control of the bottom side jungle. So not looking too bad for Fnatic, even if maybe not able to get too much. This should be the bot lane tower as well as the bot lane inhibitor if they want it. Collapse top side onto Oscarinin.
Should be fine. He's got Ghost and ult, but now Fnatic commit 4-man bot side. That's much better. That throws Leader off the tower. That means that the numbers of events is strong enough, and then you can move into mid. Looks like they're cut off though. Kobbe's managed to thin out the wave. But like you said, exit objective is the dragon, pick up the soul, and the Baron will fade, but they've cracked the base open, so that helps.
And Astralis are holding on.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it because they've accidentally welded their hand to this game and they would love to let go? I don't know.
I mean, someone pressed no, that's all I'm saying. Oscar, I think he should be fine.
He's ghosting. They've connected the E, but that's not enough. He's ignited again.
Respect to JeongHoon's dancing game, and his ignite drops.
Yeah.
I feel like he ignited Oscar to cancel his base, then he ganked top and ignited Oscar again. Is it like personal or something? I mean, he's full HP. He just dances every time he does it. But yeah, there's soul for Fnatic. Should be just a right click on the Nexus soon. Astralis, I mean, Kobbe has Navori, but I don't think there's anyone getting through that Olaf.
Time to talk about what went wrong in the game, figure out what's coming up in the next game, I guess is the positive spin on it. Also, if you go late enough, Sivir, I'm lying to you guys. It's just like, as a caster, sometimes you gotta instill hope. But again, Astralis, they are really hoping that Fnatic do something incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
But unless Fnatic do something incredibly stupid, this game is absolutely impossible.
Look at the little Maokai saplings, get some damage dealt off that. I mean, yeah, they should just go top here, 4-man, move into Oscar. No, it did. Overheal and the Nautilus W stopped it. I think they should just push mid here. Then what they'll do is they'll probably 4-man top on Oscar. So we'll just watch Oscar here. He's not going to push the wave yet. He's going to be very slow. Wait for his team, zone Finn off the wave, and then by the time they've pushed mid, they'll say we're moving, and then he'll push the wave. And otherwise, you're wasting a wave.
I like the timing here.
Doesn't have a cannon,
if you
though.
sink the waves, it's very hard for Astralis to respond.
Now they have to dive.
Up.
Yeah, now they have to just push Astralis back and just press the R button.
Spell shield unavailable. Are they going to full commit to Finn's Illaoi is the big question. This is the turn. Good damage hitting back onto Advienne. He might just be cursed. Humanoid instantly in the backside just trying to finish off Kobbe, but Kobbe is still standing. Humanoid goes golden. I think Humanoid's overcommitted. They were not on the same page. Oh, that's a big shutdown.
The dive didn't work. Humanoid went in, everyone went out. So, miscommunication there from Fnatic. They butchered the dive a little bit. No summoners were blown, so it doesn't sting too much. They managed to get all of Kobbe's, but yeah, I saw Lissandra go in and I saw 4 members of Fnatic run out, so they didn't. I think 4 of them didn't really want to go for that dive, but yeah, Nash in 40 seconds. That'll plaster over those mistakes. Humanoid will probably just laugh that off. TP in, start up Baron. Astralis can catch these inhib waves, but yeah. Signs of life, breaths of hope.
Kobbe getting closer to 3 items.
It's the dreaded Elder Dragon. Do you remember Misfits G2?
Oh my gosh, do I remember Misfits G2?
Do you remember the Elder Dragon?
I do remember the Elder Dragon. The incident.
Surely that doesn't happen again, right?
Oh,
there's no way.
We're cursing.
There's no way in 3 minutes 45 seconds to try to steal Elder, kill them all, and end the game.
That would not be
while
possible.
They're 15,000 gold down.
I think someone just yelled at you for trying to curse.
Well,
great power, great responsibility. Mark, you can't just predict things flippantly. You don't know what's going to happen.
At this point, I don't know what to say, because if I say that it will happen, and it does happen, that's the caster curse. But if I say that it can't happen, and it does happen, is that also a caster curse?
I think it's your fault no matter what.
Okay.
Whether you're the jungler or I'm the caster.
So casters or junglers, that's what you've taught me today.
All right.
So Fnatic, Baron, dead, top wave,
taken
pushed
out.
In, and now we're
done
going to be...
so.
It's going to be a bit of a deja vu here because we're going to be back where we were 2 minutes ago. We're going to be pushing this top tier 3.
If they can survive this Baron push, they have a chance to steal Elder.
And then?
And then do big things with that Elder, maybe, depending on how well that steal goes.
And
or more likely than not, just survive for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
But Kobbe is almost at 3 items.
Yeah, I'm huffing.
There's a lot of copium going around.
Oscar.
Got the full tank here. Fit hitting these E's is pretty big. It's not that big. Oscarinin barely taking any damage here.
Top tier 3 is going
that's
down.
half his health. Now they're going to get aggressive on the bottom side. Razork going to probably be in trouble here. They're dangerously trying to focus and they want to burn everything down. Finals is big. Finals is big.
Oh my god.
Rekkles is gone.
What is going on this game? Fnatic butchered the dive again. That's 2 minutes, 30 seconds on Elder. I think we were being a bit sarcastic just saying that this game should be one and done. I mean, they're 13, 14k up, gold up with a soul and a Baron, but that's the second time they've messed up this siege. Rekkles lost both his sums. Astralis are laughing. I think they realize they're kind of out of this game, but somehow Fnatic aren't ending. They're managing to find plays. Good engage from JeongHoon. GA now for Razork, 2 minutes on Elder. That stops the Baron siege.
If we have time, observers, friends of ours, can we get a replay of that? Whether it's picture-in-picture or live on screen. I'm not sure if they're going to murder each other, so feel free to take us out at any moment, but
JeongHoon's laughing. Yeah, I think he's realizing, like, how are they...
What happened?
I think Fnatic are not grouping as much as they should. They're splitting up, playing this side lane, kind of...
Okay, what happened?
1-4, I think...
Okay, Finn hits the first D,
So
50% of Oscarin's health.
Humanoid should be collapsing mid here. Oscar's running mid. I don't know... collapsing top, sorry. So JeongHoon goes in. 1-1-3 gets there. Knockback. Finn has a 10 skull. Stopwatch on top of 5. Yeah, there's no way Rekkles gets out of there. But my main point here is why is there 3 members sieging top and 2 members mid with no wave? Like, I think Oscar needs to be around here. Humanoid needs to be around here. They need to be threatening, forcing Astralis back, and giving some frontline to players like Rekkles. Forcing...
If at first you don't succeed, try again, Berlin.
Third time's the charm. This is the one. Right. Mid inhib is Fnatic's focus.
Hook.
Here we go.
Humanoid getting aggressive. They need to murder everybody. Humanoid now backing out. That's going to be a stopwatch coming in. In the meantime, Kobbe is untouched. Finn is still standing. Astralis are holding on. Astralis are winning the fight. No. On the backside. Oscarinin versus the world. Oscarinin determined to take out Kobbe. Fnatic finally. Fnatic found the fight. The third time was indeed the charm. Oscarinin in the back line, absolutely unkillable. It's going to take a minute here, but Fnatic have won the game.
3 is their lucky number today, Fnatic, because they're going to game 3 and it worked on the 3rd time. Just going to push into the Nexus here. Leader doesn't have ult. Advienne can hit the hook. Look for the dive. 1-1-3 is as good as done.
Leader ulting, trying to get some damage down, but he doesn't kill Rekkles, so it does not matter. Threat standing strong. Fnatic turn it around in game 2. It was just about dominant from start to finish.
Yeah, I can see Astralis wrote in all chat, deja vu, as soon as they butchered the 2nd dive. Good game from Fnatic though. I think a lot to talk about. The last 5 minutes in terms of closing it out were a little bit more messy than they would have wanted. Maybe they should have played a little bit more grouped in terms of getting those towers down, maybe splitting up too many resources even though they're that far ahead. But if you take the first 20 minutes of that game, exceptional. After that, yeah, late game was a little bit butchered with the Baron pushes.
Was butchered a few times, but ultimately you get the W, and that's all that really matters. Their early to mid game was so good and so dominant that they could afford to make those mistakes, so that is credit to them. But Astralis, I think good job holding on as long as they did. Again, that really does mostly come down to them finding windows to punish Fnatic mistakes, because they couldn't really make plays without someone on Fnatic mispositioning initially. But for Fnatic, in a closer game, that could have been a death sentence, that misexecution. But in this game, because of the lead they built, they were able to bring it home. So for now, I'm going to send it back over to the analyst desk to talk a little bit about what happened there.
Yeah, we're down here. Or next to? Zoomed out, that's where we are. Fnatic, they bring it back 1-1, and now it is all square going into game 3. They stayed on the red side, and they clearly sent the signal that they didn't want to change too much, and they were confident in anything they would be able to field. On the other side, we had Astralis with, I want to say, a vintage leader thing in picking the Zed blind, but also the Illaoi coming in as the last pick for Finn.
I think this was really interesting because at first you still have the things, you have the adaptation, you get rid of the Jax instead of the Vi for Razork. I don't know if that's too much worth it, but they had a plan with it. They wanted to go Sivir, as you also see here, to get rid of the spell shield. But then coming in with the last 2 bans here, not getting rid of the Lissandra might be a bit of a bait for Astralis here. They lock in with a 4-set, and this worked last time they played in the regular season, because back then Humanoid wanted to play the control mages, the Asir, the likes of that, so he had to opt in for LeBlanc to counteract that matchup. But this time around, he still had the Lissandra available. You knew he played it, because he played it just before, and they just fell into that trap.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the fact that you had the Lissandra set up so well then for the rest of their engages, their team fight, everything they wanted to go for. The mid jungle for Fnatic, phenomenal this game. Finally, we get to see them being proactive. They're actually looking like a duo, and the response that they had every single time Astralis tried to make a play was absolutely impeccable.
It was working, and you said it there, every time Astralis tried to make a play. And I did have the feeling when I was watching them that they were like banging their head against the wall and wondering why it was hurting over and over again when they went into certain objectives, even though they just got their handed to them in the fights before, but they seem to tunnel a little bit. For me, is that overconfidence maybe coming from the last game where it just seemed to go their way?
I think to a certain extent, yes, but also it's kind of the Astralis way, right?
That's true.
When we look at Astralis, they want to skirmish, they want to go for fights. The big problem, I think, in this game was kind of reckless manhandling Kobbe in the 1v1 outside.
Yeah.
Because then you come into these fights and you're like, okay, well, Varus in general is going to be stronger in these early fights. It's just he peaks a little bit quicker than the Sivir does. You look, you had 2 items completed before Kobbe had finished 1. He was so far ahead. And still they went for this.
Yeah, they continue to do it while they get some kills here and there. It looks decent for them. That's just not how these two team fight compositions function against each other. Once again, it's the Astralis that wants to attack, and it's the side of Fnatic that's opening up with the sponge here instead. And I think last game, in game 1, Astralis had the presence of mind to slow down the pace of the game and not continue on the fights. This game, they had none of that. They lost 1 fight and said, you know what, I'll do it again.
I think they're like, oh, possible choke point, we have the tentacles, let's go.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough.
Yeah, I think if they tried to play around the topside skirmishes earlier, I think maybe that could have worked out a little bit better with the Illaoi and the Zed. Then you've actually got a good bit of damage. But even in that fight, JeongHoon went so deep into the rest of the fight. Leader couldn't follow up. You're kind of not really working with Finn there at that point either. So I think it was one kind of misplays in the team fights in some occasions as well, alongside just not really playing to the strengths of the composition. And when you have this Sivir pick, it's strange to me that you don't just go for front-to-back team fights. Like, pick a Scion, just go, hey, look, we're just going to play for team fights later on in the game.
Yeah.
Instead of just going for these weird early fights.
Overexcited, maybe. The
Potentially.
Illaoi. I mean, we said it, I believe, in the cast, but the last time it got picked was also Finn, and he lost. So maybe not the thing to go for.
But
totally different metas.
There's 2 L's in Illaoi, so it makes sense.
That's true, and he had to
Well, hopefully.
go through both of them.
Only taking the one, right? But
Yeah, we'll see. GP, I believe you loaded up a team fight on the on-desk telestrator.
So just to get into this, because it was just kind of to reiterate the points already made, but it's just the fact that we're in a game player situation right now where Fnatic, once again, we're at an objective. You can take a look at the gold lead right now. It's very much in the favor of them as well. And Dagda and I was talking a lot about this play when we were going for it, because we didn't really understand the positioning of Astralis. They just said, you know what, let's just walk in here and see what happens.
Yeah, especially when you look at where Razork's set up here as well. Like, you have no vision of where Vi is, so ends up being able to put position into the backline here that immediately causes Astralis to step away. And then JeongHoon goes for this play, but look at how deep once more he's going. There's no real follow-up that's here. So with the Maokai ultra able to buy space, and at that point, Fnatic were able to bounce back.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This was everything Astralis had to send them the kitchen sink. So Fnatic, they just know that. We can slowly but surely walk up again. We can go for the fight. Razork gets a steal at the same time, and they just have the lockdown, right? Leader tries to go for the ultimate. What's that? Lissandra is still a thing. Okay, I'm dead. The rest of the team fight continues, but it's not really a team fight for Astralis. It's just a loss.
You can see how often as well, like Kobbe, not really an impact at all in that fight. Couldn't really position properly because of the way that they set up the first fight. And then when you look across at Rekkles is already in the pit, immediately following up on Razork's engage. Then has the follow-up onto Humanoid's engage. It's very easy to select your targets with this composition, and Rekkles just gets the free fire the entire time.
Yeah, and in solo queue, this is a 13-minute fight. This is a 5-man surrender when you hit 15 minutes as well.
You
so,
can't do that in
I know.
Also, I'm really glad you did that on the telestrator tool. Like, wow, the insight, 2 circles on the 1 arrow, and
it looked nice with a little highlight there, didn't it? It was kind of cool.
I mean, I saw everything much better. So, Astralis chose blue side for this one. So we were talking about in the green room that between these 2 teams, you actually wouldn't surprise if they picked the red side for the counter pick, of course. But the thing is, Leader really doesn't care. If he doesn't need to counterpick. He'll just pick it regardless, it seems like.
Yeah, but it can lead to issues, right? And I think when you look at game 1, where Fnatic actually had a great draft into you. Now, game 2, where again, we're kind of seeing you're struggling in the draft, I think would make sense. But I think it is kind of highlighting a problem that we see with Astralis is that a lot of their compositions have been very samey where it's we will play for dive, we will play for skirmishes. And I think Fnatic, even back in week 3 that we saw it, had a good read on this and were able to respond in the early game. It was just a question of how they performed in the mid game, and we're seeing that now come for their way as well.
Yeah, and I think on red side, Fnatic's really comfortable with this. On the first 2 picks, they can lock a jungler and an AD carry, and then on 3, they can go Lissandra and not be worried about it going into the second ban phase, unless Astralis is going to ban it on 1, 2, 3, and then also having the counter pick on support, which stabilize Rekkles. I think red side is a kind of a god's blessing for Fnatic and really allows them to stabilize.
And questioning the Varus, if a Varus ban comes through. I think having Rekkles on this 2 games in a row has just been so strong. I think get that off the board and you can play a safer game now.
And follow-up question then to that, as we are going to take a look at some of Humanoid's ace, I believe. Oh, it broke. Too bad. Is the AR broken too? Oh, maybe? Lissandra, are you around? We'll see. Anyways, Humanoid had a great game on Lissandra, not so much in game 1, but the theory was there even in game 1. It did work in game 2. And with the Azir being nerfed, being something that we would always kind of equate with Humanoid.
There she is.
There she is. Hello.
Hi there.
Is this not a ban to consider?
Well, I think that's the thing as well, because it's something
back.
that really just halts some of the champion pool that Leader has as well. But I also just think Humanoid, as a mid lane player, it continues to just be the ace of Fnatic in terms of what he needs to be for his team. As you said yourself, the Azir was something that stabilized the teams. They got the early priority, allowed them to play a safer, scaling into the late game team fights.
The late game.
Yeah, but he's also really good at lip link and other champions like that, and he can just play whatever it needs. But I think what's really cool is that he band-aids the needs of Fnatic as a team by picking the team fights picking the champions that matter in team fights like this.
I think the problem is, though, if you pick a Lissandra, your damage has to come from elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's where
he had the most damage in this game on Lissandra.
Oh, called out.
Okay, fair.
Called out.
But I think the thing is, like, realistically, in a more standard game, you need an AD carry who's going to provide that damage. And I think if you get rid of the Varus, we've seen before the Rekkles doesn't look the most comfortable, maybe falls back to a Jinx or something along those lines. But I think if you can make that bot lane uncomfortable, it becomes a lot more difficult for Humanoid to then play Lissandra if you can't get those leads.
Okay. What do you think? It's going to be Fnatic or Astralis game 3? No explanation. Just.
Okay, Fnatic, let's go for it.
I got to lean with it. I think Fnatic have looked really good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jinx, who knows? Let's go to a break, but we'll be back with game 3 for a spot to play Vitality on Monday between Fnatic and Astralis.
You have to go here. I think we win. By the way, we have Lissandra ulti. Go, please. Go.
I got
it. Maokai.
I will set.
Okay,
Zed ulted me. Zed no ult. He's mega useless.
Look at Sivir.
Yeah, I go. Sivir no.
Big flash. I'm coming.
That's fine.
Kill him.
Zed here.
I go Maokai.
Go
Guys,
boss.
it's best of 3, okay?
One more.
Our early game was good with your Marek.